everybody, welcome back. It's good to see you. And today we're going to be talking about major and minor chord structures, how they're built based on those scales. The major scale, the natural minor scale that I showed you. We're going to show how chords are actually built from that, all right, to kind of clear up some of that confusion and make chords less mysterious for you. All right, so let's start off. I like to use key of G. It's a very common key for guitar players and whatnot. C is another good one, but let's use G today. All right, so let's write out our G major scale so we have it up here. Actually, let's start off this way. Our notes, you got 1, 2, 3. Okay, 7 notes of the major scale, and then your octaves. So let's write them all out. You would have G, your A, B, C, D, E, and then F sharp. All right, those are the 7 notes in your G major scale. Now we want to build chords out of this key, okay? There's some different qualities here, majors and minor chords. And chords are all made up of basic triads, not extended chords, whatnot. Just the basic 3-note triads are the root, your first one, your third, and your fifth, okay? The root, the third, and the fifth. As we know, the third of whatever scale you're going with makes it major or minor. So let's look at this. Let's take a G chord. We want to make a G chord. We need the root, the third, and the fifth. So we need a G. We're also going to need a B, which is the third, and that's a major scale. We know the increments. That's a major chord. We need a D. All right? So G, B, and D. That's your G major chord. We know that's major. It's got a 2 whole steps between the first and the third. Okay? Now let's go to the next chord, the A. Is this going to be a major or minor chord? You do the same increments every other. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can just count this way. So 1, 2, 3. So you got a C chord. And that is a whole step and a half step. It's only 1.5 steps, so that's going to be minor. It's not 2 whole steps. So it's going to be a minor chord. And then your 5, which is it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the A is an E chord. Okay? So this is going to give you an A. That's a G major. That's an A minor because of that tone of that C. If it was a C sharp, it'd be a major. So we're laying out the chords now in the key of G. All right, the B, we're going to have 1, 2, 3. So you're going to have a D in there. And that is a half step and then a whole, so that's a minor quality. It's only 1.5 steps, it's not 2. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you got the F sharp, which is its fifth. So they all have a 1, a 3, and a 5. Okay. This, because that's a minor quality, is a B minor. Let's go to the C chord. And I got a little fat there on my B chord. So our C chord, you got 1, 2, 3. So we're going to put an E here. And that's a whole step and a whole step. So you got 2 whole steps. That's a major quality, okay? And then you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you just go back around and say 5, a G note, the fifth. Like I said, that third, because it's 2 whole steps, is a major. This is a C major chord. The D, all right, 1, 2, 3. So you got an F sharp for your third. And that's a whole step and another whole step. So that's a major chord. And then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The A is its fifth. You play D, F sharp, and A. You now have a D major chord. I'll show you a little neat trick here when you're done. The E, we got 1, 2, 3. We're going to put a G there. Now E to F sharp is a whole step. F sharp to G is just that half step. So it's 1.5. It's a minor quality. E, G, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The B is its fifth. So, because we only have that 1.5 steps, that's a minor chord. That's your E minor. And then the F sharp, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. You got an A there, which F sharp to G is a half step and then a whole, so that's a minor quality. And this one's going to be interesting. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's C. Okay? What's interesting about that C is if you were to look here, F sharp to G, G to A, And then normally you would have a whole step, whole step. You've got a whole step and then a half step. That fifth of the F sharp should be a C sharp, but it's not in this key. These are the notes we're working with. It's just a C. So it's a flattened fifth, which makes this, if you flatten the fifth down, which these are all perfect fifths, the increments, if you flatten your fifth, you now have what we call F sharp diminished. That fifth is flattened. It gives it a really dissonant sound. Kind of it doesn't quite, it feels unstable, very unstable. Okay. So this now gives you, besides the notes in the scale, gives you the qualities of each chord in that scale. Your G major, A minor, B minor. And a little tip, which I'll get to in one of the videos coming up, chord families, that kind of stuff. If you look, your 1, your 4, which is Roman numerals, you'll see that a lot, and your 5 chord. So 1, 4, and 5 are major, so they're large capital Roman numerals. The 1, 4, and 5 are always major. The 2 in a major scale. This is G major. The 2, 3, and the 6 are minor chords, and the 7th is a minor with that little circle, which means diminished. So the 7th is a diminished chord. So when you're playing key of G, you got, like the 1, 5, 1, 5, 6, 4 progression is G, D, E minor, C. You've probably seen it a lot. All the pop songs, Axis of Awesome does it. 1, 5, 6, 4 is G, D, E, C. It's very common. Some songs you'll see the A minor, B minors in there, the seconds and third. You can substitute some for others, chord substitution, which I have a lesson on. But you rarely see the diminished chord. That's kind of a rare chord. You'll see a half diminished where they actually throw a 7th in there to clean it up a little, make it sound nicer. All right, which we'll have a theory lesson on that. But that's how you build chords. Okay, so minor chords have a flattened third. Major chords have 2 whole steps, 4 semitones in between them. All right, so that's how you can take any key. Let's do another key. Let's do the key of C real quick, just so you can kind of do the same thing here. Let's do that up there. Key of C. So we're going to start out with a C note. You're going to go to your whole step, which would be, actually we can do, actually, you know what I'd like to do? Let's do minor real quick. I want to do the relative E minor, so you can kind of see when you do this with a minor scale, which chords are major, which are minor qualities in a minor. So let's go with an E. Then the second one would be an F sharp. Third would be a G. Your fourth would be an A. Fifth would be a B. Then a D. Yeah, I can't count today. Sorry, folks. It's quarantine. It's getting to me. All right, now we're going to have a C, and then your D. All right, this is the E minor scale, which is, you're going to see, it's very similar to the G. It just starts here, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, back to E. It's the relative of this. So in an E minor scale, let's go through this and build these chords and see which ones are major and minor. And you're going to see a very similar thing up here. All right, so the E, you're going to do the 1, 2, 3, you're going to add a G note, and the 5 is the B. You now have an E minor, because that's only 1.5 tones. You got 1.5 tones for that. So that is an E minor. So your 1 chord, we're going to kind of keep this for both, whether it's here or here. So your 1 chord in a minor key is a minor. Your 2 chord, so let's do that. It's a minor. Let me just give you a whole new box here just so you can see. That's this. All right, your 2 chord, F sharp with the A. You've got a half step, whole step, so also a minor. And then it's fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is that C. As you knew from up here, that flattened 6, which normally would be a C sharp because of the tones, this is that diminished chord. So far in a minor, natural minor key, your 1 is a minor chord, your 2 is a diminished chord. Now let's look at your 3. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got a B and a D. That G chord is a major. Okay? So your 3rd has a major quality. Your 4th, the A, B, C, and then the E. That C note, A to C, is only 1.5 steps. It's a minor quality. Your 4 is a minor chord. The B, B, C, D, F sharp. Is 1.5 steps to that D from the B. This 5 chord is also a minor. And then your C, C, D, E, that's a major quality. The 5th is your G. That E looks rough. Let's fix it. That is a major 6. Then the 7th, D, E, F sharp. D to F sharp is 2 whole steps, so that's a major quality. And then your 8th note is your 5th. So we now have a D major. And that is a, what we call your 7th. Okay? So in a minor scale, the 1st is minor, the 2nd is diminished, and then you've got a major, minor, minor, major, major. If you look up here, it's the same pattern. Minor, 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 minor. And it goes major, minor, minor, major, major. It's the same pattern, just laid out at a different starting area. So if you're playing in a major key, you know your 1, 4, 5 chords are going to be major. Your 2, 3, and your 6 are minor, and your 7th is always diminished. If you're playing in a minor key, your 1 is minor, your 4 and 5 are minor. I should probably put the chords on there. And your 3, 6, and 7 are major. Your 2nd's diminished. And like I said, you rarely use that diminished. And I don't typically tend to think of keys in the minor term. I know if I'm playing an E minor key like this, my brain instantly flips it to the major, relative major, which is G major. So I know my G, C, and D's are going to be major, and my A, B, and E are minor. That's how my brain works. I always think of everything in this pattern. When I'm soloing, I tend to think of the E minor, E natural minor, E minor pentatonic scale. I use those roots. Over a G, I'll be playing an E minor pentatonic. It's the same thing, as you can see, the same notes. But my brain kind of works weird. That's how I learned them. I learned all the minor pentatonic patterns, and then I just use, like if I'm in C major, I use the A minor pentatonic. It's the same scale. It's just how I learned them. I don't think of it as a C major. I know it is, but my brain works that way. But when I think of key signatures, most times you'll see them in their major key. You don't see them listed too often in the minor. So that's how my brain works. That's major and minor chords, how you build chords. That 3rd note of the chord gives it its major or minor feel. If I were to make that a B flat, you'd have a G minor, okay? If I made that a C sharp, I'd have an A major. That's how you make them up. And chords are 1, 4, 5. Your 1, 3, and 5. I'm sorry. 1, 3, 5 makes up a basic triad. Okay? So I hope that helped you, and I will see you next time. We'll be talking extended chords, which relies heavily on this. We're just going to be adding some notes. So see you next time.